Something happens to you when you leave this town. The farther away, the hazier it all gets. But me, I never left. I remember all of it.
To the losers.
We made an oath.
Swear? If it isn't dead, if it ever comes back, we'll come back to.
We didn't stop it.
Pennywise.
The clown. We can't let it happen again.
Hello?
Kid! Hello. Please.
For 27 years, I dreamt of you. I craved you. I missed you.
We need to finish it. For good.
I've seen all of us die. It consumes us from the inside until we don't have a choice anymore.
You lied. And I died. You lied. And I died.
Alright guys, so this is my review for It Chapter 2. Man, I wasn't doing reviews when the first one came out, 2017, obviously not the old one either on TV, but I enjoyed the first one. I remember hearing me and Caleb, we were like, oh man, hearing all the hype about it, and we went to go see it, and I was like, yo, this is good. Like, it's, the thing about it is, it to a lot of people is not scary itself. It's not a scary movie to a lot of people. There's parts that may get you, but it's not overall just a scary movie. The thing I enjoyed about it was the character development that made you care about the characters and not what is gonna, like, you want to know what's gonna happen to them. You want to know their fate. You want to make sure they're okay. You cared about each character developed. That's what makes a good horror movie. When a good movie, horror movies build a world and then start with all the normal horror movie stuff, that's what you like. That's what you enjoy. When characters have backstories, motivations that are meaningful, that's what you care about. That's why I love the first It. It was great. As you can see, got the Pennywise shirt on. I need to get the new one. There's one specifically for the movie where it has the two balloons, and it's just the two balloons. I think it's hands holding on. I need that one because I love that poster and everything. It's cool. But It Chapter 2, you know, we got the same gang back again. We got the kids still. We got Jack Dylan Grazer, young Eddie. You know, he was in Shazam. He played Freddy in Shazam. He's getting out there. Wyatt Olaf, young Stan back in the movie. Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. We got him back in here. He's been in some other stuff too. This and Stranger Things, his top two things. We got Sophia Lillis, who plays young Bev. I've seen her in some other stuff too. She's getting out there. Chosen Jacobs. Man, I like him as Mike. He was perfect for Mike. But Chosen Jacobs is Mike, the young kid who he was the homeschool guy. Like, I like his story too. He was a homeschool kid and they got cool with him because the bullies was trying to bully him. And then we got, oh man, this dude, I'm not a fashion person, but this dude got some style. I saw him on Instagram, Jeremy Ray Taylor. Man, that is Ben. And he is from, I think he was in Goosebumps 2. I know for sure he was in 2. I actually enjoyed that. I love Goosebumps. So I love that movie. He was in there. He did a great job. And Jaden Martell plays young Bill. So we got young Bill back again. Everybody's back. Bill Skarsgård back as Pennywise. I love Bill Skarsgård. He's great as Pennywise. If you haven't seen Castle Rock, you should see Castle Rock. Castle Rock is an amazing show on Hulu. Check that out. We have Andy Bean as grown-up Stanley Uris. As grown-up Eddie, we have James Ransone. He did a great job. Everybody they picked for the adults was great. I'd probably have to say the weakest person they picked would have to be James McAvoy, but I love James McAvoy. Professor X and Legion from Split and Glass, they picked him like he's a great actor, but everybody else looked like perfect. He was like, yeah, he's perfect enough, But James McAvoy is in here. Bill Hader, if you don't know. I've always loved Bill Hader. He is in that show on HBO, I think Barry, but I've loved him from Superbad. Superbad is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's hilarious to me. He was always, him and Seth Rogen as the cops in that movie were hilarious. Like Superbad, I've loved Bill Hader ever since then. He shows he could be funny and do the serious. James Ransone is grown-up Eddie. Bill Hader's grown-up Richie. Isaiah Mustafa, if you don't know who that is the Old Spice guy, and he plays grown-up Mike Hanlon. James McAvoy, Bill Denbrough, I didn't say that. Jessica Chastain, perfect pick for Beverly Marsh. I feel like there's two people that could have been Beverly, that off the top of my head. Jessica Chastain and Amy Adams could have been Beverly. Those were the two picks that I had when I first saw it. I want to say Jay Ryan, who plays Ben Haskell, he did a great job as well. Like these guys, they all did great jobs as being the adults, but man, Ben, the guy who plays Ben, his name is Jay Ryan. He did a phenomenal job. Bill Hader crushed it. Like they did a really good job. Like I would love to see these guys in other stuff. Man, make it It Chapter 3. Please, something. But so the movie itself, as you know, I think the way the book works is the book constantly, I never read it, but I'm going to, it flashes back from young to old. So the fight at the end of the first It, where the kids fought Pennywise, happened simultaneously in the book. Like the young and old, their versions, 27-year-older versions of them were fighting Pennywise. This movie took that, split it, and did the adults mainly. Mainly the story is them 27 years later, coming back after everything they've been through, but also flashing back to stuff when they were kids. There's some stuff that we saw in the first movie, but there's also stuff that we saw that we did not see that also happened in the first movie as well. But that was implied that it happened, but we just didn't see it. It wasn't stuff that, but it adds to the story. The movie, I would say, is not as good as 1. It's not as good as It Chapter 1, or It. But it's not like a big drop. It's not like It and then It Chapter 2, like, ugh, gross, like this sequel garbage. No, it's more of It. Like if I had to give it like a score, it would be like the 90s, mid to low 90s. And then It Chapter 2 would be high 80s to low 90s. Like it's not as good, but it's only slightly not as good. And that's only because of, I feel like they ramped up the violence, which was a plus. I feel like they, it just wasn't as, they tried to do more jump scares, which they didn't need to. Like in It Chapter 1, the projector scene was amazing, and then there's another scene as well that was amazing. I feel like they tried too much to capitalize off of that one. Like they was like, we got to get this one scare, but they were just like attempt, instead of building, bam. But there's two moments that got me, myself, but the movie itself, I feel like it drags on at certain parts. And the only reason I say it drags is I feel there was different story points they could have focused on. Like the way it begins, they didn't go back to that really, and they should have, because in the book that's very important and pertinent. I feel like they would have did that. There was some other stuff they would have substituted and focused more on for the world building. There's not as much That's another thing. Like, there's story development with the characters, but there's not as much more world building. Like, you put 27 years later, but it's not really 27 years. Like, the characters are 27 years later, but you can't really tell the difference of Derry 27 years later. So it's kind of different there. And then there's some parts that it's just like, man, like, I have no issue with long movies. I have no problem. Like, I didn't not want to sit there for 2 hours and 49 minutes, but I was like, there could have been some more stuff you could have put to keep me as compelled the whole time. Like, if you're watching a long movie, you're like, man, like, where are we getting to the next part? When is this going to end? How long has it been? Like, this movie doesn't do that bad, but there's a lot of movies that do that. Midsummer did that for me. I was like, God, this is like, when are we going to end? But It Chapter 2, I'd say it's definitely a see it. Definitely, especially if you enjoyed the first one. You are either gonna slightly like it less, or you're gonna like it just as much, or you may like it more. I will say this: I've seen it twice already, and even though it's 2 hours 49 minutes, I've seen it twice, and I enjoyed it more the second time than I did the first time. I did not enjoy it, but I enjoyed it more the second time. So that's a plus. But definitely a see it. Go see that Chapter 2. If you haven't seen the first one, see the first one. Even if you don't like scary movies, they're great. They're great movies. You should see them just because of the story and the characters and the motivation, and everything is so great. But thank you guys so much for your time and your support, and I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, dislike, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for the support and the continued support. And I'm going to keep trying to improve content for you guys, get everything situated, the giveaways and stuff. Thank you guys so much.